this happened just in June, a couple months ago, and yet so many people have already forgotten that it happened. A little boy, Julian Wood, and his mother, Julian was 3 years old. This is him here. They were coming out of a grocery store in North Olmsted, Ohio, and a woman named Bionca Ellis.
Not the nicest of areas.
Not the nicest of areas.
In Cleveland, North Olmsted, kind of a dump.
Yeah. This woman was next door, stole a knife from a thrift store, walked into the grocery store, spotted Margot and Julian, headed out to the parking lot, followed them out, and in the span of 5 seconds, stabbed Julian to death and stabbed the mom a few times as well.
Jeez.
And horrific story. Yeah. It was one of the worst I've ever heard.
That's evil.
Yeah, it is. It's evil, and I'll get back to that point because I really want to touch on that.
Mike?
She stabbed the mother as the mother tried to get the kid out of the shopping cart. No motive was given, believed to be a random incident. This is the one, Bionca Ellis, as she was read her charges, by the way. This was her reaction.
As she's reading.
This is her reaction in court, if we can roll that video.
Section 2903.11A1 and/or endangering children in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2919.22B2. Count 4 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did knowingly cause serious physical harm to J.W. on date of birth 10/29/2020. Count 5 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did torture or cruelly abuse J.W., date of birth 10/29/2020, a child under 18 years of age, and furthermore, the violation resulted in serious physical harm to J.W., date of birth 10/29/2020.
So we can go ahead and cut it there. But
you hear that? Yeah. Date of birth 10/20/2020. The kid was 3.
Oh my God,
it's insane.
Yeah, that really.
And then our tax dollars are going to pay to keep this monster alive.
Oh, yeah.
Was this person charged with a hate crime?
She was not.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
If I stabbed a black kid to death, you know what one of the charges would be charged?
Hate crime.
Hate crime.
Oh, big.
Yeah.
Well, you're done. Oh,
So,
Rob, you'd get the chair.
In addition to manslaughter and all the others, but they would definitely add that on.
Yeah.
There's this weird thing in America where it's okay for minorities to attack white people and not be charged with hate crimes, but then when white people point it out, they're racist.
Yeah.
You're a racist for pointing out race in this issue. It was a black woman murdering a white child, and there's no hate crime.
You know what it's called? It's called the Great Replacement Theory.
The kid?
Yeah,
the kid's dead.
The kid died. The mother was injured.
I can't.
Yeah,
that's the Great Replacement Theory. So there's this, subtle attack on white people since they're the biggest group in America, and it's like we could do nothing but wrong, and everybody else could do no wrong, and it's impossible for people to be racist against white people now. So it's like, they're taking out what people have done in the past against us, even though white people today haven't done anything that people in the past have done, but they're taking out all the crimes of the past on us.
Yeah, can we throw this picture of Julian back up real quick?
Yeah.
This is his last day of preschool. Look at the date on that photo. May 29th, 2024. He died June 3rd.
It breaks
This just days after.
It's demonic.
It's horrific. And Rob brings up the very impactful point about, the hate crime stuff, but that's not even the point I want to hit on. I talk about a lot of, racial dynamics and problems a lot, but to Vinny's point that he brought up earlier, this is about evil.
Yep.
This is about the fact that the world does not recognize that evil things happen and that there is a deep, abiding evil within people in our society today, and the justice system continually fails to recognize it. She was standing there smiling, laughing, smirking at the camera,
posing for the camera
as she's being charged with murder, aggravated murder, attempted murder, felonious assault, endangering children, tampering with evidence, misdemeanor theft, and she already had like 3 or 4 active warrants out for her arrest at the time. This was horrific.
So she's a threat to society.
Yes.
She's been in prison. She's been in trouble for all these things. She's still walking the streets, and then she does something like this, and then what?
Yes. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because just a few days ago, the judge in the case ruled her incompetent to stand trial.
Oh.
She was held for 20 days for an assessment, and it was determined that by reason of her various mental defects, she cannot stand trial. Rather than standing trial and going to prison and having her life swiftly and brutally ended the way it ought to be as punishment for a crime like this, she will spend an indeterminate amount of time getting medical assessments and treatments in the hopes of one day bringing her back to where she can stand trial again.
Unreal.
And this is kind of what I wanted to hit on, is that we have this excuse in our judicial system that if somebody is incompetent and that they're so out of their mind that they're not accountable for their actions, they can't be punished. When in fact, if somebody is so out of their minds that they're not accountable for their own actions, that's all the more reason to remove them from society forever. Because this woman, it wasn't premeditated. She didn't have some sort of grudge against the family where she decided she was going to go after them. It was a lunatic who got a hold of a knife and attacked a small child in the parking lot. If that is not a clear-cut case for sealing this person away for the rest of their lives, for the good of us, and no, we have to medically evaluate her for her. Who cares about her good?
Yeah, I don't
do not care what good things happen to this woman for the rest of her life. I hope her life is ended swiftly and, dare I say, brutally because of that. That's justice.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Brandon.
like law-abiding citizen style. You guys ever see that movie?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like that's what needs to happen to people like this, because that movie is a perfect example of how the justice system lets you down when something clear as day, brutally evil happens, and for whatever reason, some bullshit reason, the justice system lets you down, and people who deserve to suffer get off free.
Yeah, no,
That's such a good movie, by the way.
Yeah, it's the ultimate revenge movie. I wish that would happen to people like this.
This is political, okay? People on the left, they have another concept of justice that we do, okay? They don't believe in punishment. This needs to be punished with
Brutally.
brutally, with the whole intent of the
torture.
law. That's what we have judges. That's what we have policemen. This is what we have jails. Like taking the life away of that little kid. Like it's the most evil thing you can ever do. Like there's nothing you can do about it. And she's if she's able to do it again, she needs to be locked up forever, or capital punishment. But these people believe in rehabilitation. That's what they think.
The fact that she could be comfortable right now is a spit in the face of all of us.
And I think they're being irresponsible all around. I think it's not respectful for the media to record this woman.
I agree, because you're giving her that state.
And I see those images, and I see a little kid here, and it's hurtful.
Yeah.
It is hurtful to see her smile to the camera. Like if I was a cameraman, even if I get fired, I will turn off the camera.
Yeah.
Like even if I get fired, because I don't want that image. Imagine the parents.
Oh.
Can you imagine the parents seeing her smile?
Yeah.
Like this society is sick. This is sick. Like it has no name.
She gets a smile like that, and then she might spend years now in a hospital eating pudding and taking pills in the hope of one day make this actual criminal retard one day capable of being held accountable for her own actions.
Yep.
Yeah, that
But
can't be tolerated.
that could never happen.
No, and mind you, and this goes to the point, Connor, and how many times have we said it on this very show? And Rob, I want to come to you if you want to say something in closing. That this society doesn't care about the children, from the sex trafficking to the assault to the molestation to the pedophiles. They don't care. These are the most overlooked beings that we have, our most precious things. And besides, by the way, because you know my attitude is, especially, I know me and you see the same. I don't know how everybody else does, but when it comes to, this is a whole different story. She deserves the chair. When it comes to pedophilia, I've already said this. You're destroying that child forever. You're killing them ultimately in their soul. Their soul is dead, so you are going to die. If I was in charge, bro, that'd be one of the first things I sign, is if you are caught molesting or raping or something with a child, you are going, and you're not going to sit on one of those lists that takes you years. You're dying that month. We're going to set everything up, and you're going bye-bye. And listen, we're not supposed to judge, which is extremely, extremely hard. Like, even with Diddy this morning when I was getting ready, bro, in my head, something came over me where I'm like, wow, I'm actually supposed to pray for this dude. I'm supposed to pray and hope that this guy finds salvation or he's going to burn in hell. That type of face. And the more I see pictures of Diddy, guys, he looks like there's a demon in there.
Sure
Have you guys been?
Same thing with Bionca Ellis. If you look at that, you look at her face.
Like the devil.
There is no humanity there.
No.
There is just evil incarnate behind the eyes of a person who would smile after taking the life of a child.
Yep.
And Humberto, like you said, our judicial system focuses on restorative justice and rehabilitation.
No.
The purpose of jail is not to make criminals better. It's to give the rest of us, normal law-abiding people, time away from criminals. It's like, oh, this guy needs to be locked up for 25 years, not for his own good, but for the good of all of us who get 25 years without having him around.
Yeah.
And there was a British politician centuries ago who said, we do not hang horse thieves because they stole horses, but we hang them so that horses might not be stolen.
Oh.
With the point being, the execution is not really even the punishment for this guy. It's just to stop anybody else from losing horses to thievery.
Yep.
That's the whole point. We don't execute people like this because of what they did. We do it as the thing that should stop other people from doing it again.
Yeah.
But when we go soft on them, when we say, okay, Bionca Ellis, you can spend
Years.
the rest of your life
Rehabilitated.
getting medicated and watching cartoons.
Connor, and it works. It works. I swear to God, it works. I grew up in Dubai, where they don't fuck around. The law is the law. They will cut your hands off.
Of course.
The law is the law.
Yep.
And nobody
Dares to do it.
Dares to do it.
Yep.
Like, I lost my wallet 100 times. I got it back 100
I know,
times.
all the time.
I used to go shopping. It's like 200 degrees outside. I will leave my keys on the ignition with the car on and the
And
AC
nothing.
running.
And nobody's
I will
stealing.
go for an hour and come back, and nobody will steal it.
Anybody
Because they
who
know.
Anybody
They
who tells
know.
you it cannot be done is not looking at El Salvador.
Yeah.
Nayib Bukele proved to the world that the solution to these problems, it's not easy, but it is simple. And it's you take the people who are responsible for these crimes and you get rid of them.
That's it.
And you lock
look
them
at the
up.
crime.
And the rest of us
Back
would
to Vinny.
benefit.
Like, they don't fucking care. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We're past 8 minutes.
They don't care. They don't care because they don't pay taxes and they don't vote. And that's a wrap. That's what it is.
Rob, you want to say something?
No, sorry, I made this a race issue. It's not. It's a human issue. And
Well, they try and make it a race
no,
issue.
but
yeah, but it just I went the wrong direction on this one. This is more about humanity and evil. And you're right. And I'm sorry that I hijacked in the beginning.
No, you didn't hijack it because I make plenty of these arguments, and you are correct. If Bionca Ellis was a white woman, regardless of what else she had going on mentally, who stabbed a black toddler to death in a parking lot, that would be
a wrap. It's over.
Cities would burn.
Oh.
People would stand. Politicians would denounce it. No one is speaking out for.
Remember
Well,
what
but
they
I'm sorry. This was on the news for
Yeah.
less than a day. I saw it.
If it wasn't
and then we
for,
moved on.
If it wasn't for deranged conservatives like me and a few other people on Twitter who have continued to talk about the story, who would even know about it?
Yep.
You've never seen that smiling video?
No, I've
shared
never
on the news.
I've never seen it.
It's like Brandon's going to talk about in a little bit. If it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for X specifically, these stories would be forgotten because there was a deliberate effort to make sure nobody knows about
Yep.
them.
Well, great.
So in memory of Julian Wood, whose life was taken by an actual demon, we do this, and we can't even necessarily say we know a solution, but just don't forget that there's evil.
Yep.
And if there's evil, there has to be
Light.
something good fighting against it, and
That's us.
If we can contribute to that, that's what our goal is.
What you just said right there is why, as somebody who I don't know whether I'm agnostic or what is it, agnostic, atheist? I don't like. I've
agnostic. You're just kind of you're just not really. Happy.
I've had my
warming into it.
You're warming it.
I'm the more that I see this evil, as sad as it is that we live among these people, the more that I see that this evil has not taken over the entire world, it gives me hope that there is good. So as much as because I fought religion for a long time,
Yeah.
I really have. I'm finally coming to a point in my life where I'm like, okay, there is evil, and in order for evil to not win, there has to be a counterbalance. What is that counterbalance? It's good. Where does that good come from? Is that a higher power? Is that humanity? I don't know, but that's where I'm at. But you perfectly encompassed with what you just said where I'm at in life. There is clearly evil in this world, and there's also good that's fighting it, and we just have to make sure that good beats evil.
Amen.